Welcome to our defense briefing program. I'm your host, Liang Jun. Today, we're diving into some of the most pressing stories from around the globe. First up, the aftermath of Tropical Storm Helene has left Pensacola, North Carolina in shambles, significant damage reported and rescue efforts underway. Residents are in dire need of medications and resources as the community grapples with the storm's devastating impacts. Next, we turn our attention to the escalating conflict in Lebanon, where two Lebanese soldiers have tragically lost their lives due to Israeli airstrikes. The situation is dire with over 1,300 casualties reported and many civilians displaced. As the conflict continues to unfold, the humanitarian crisis deepens, highlighting the urgent need for international attention and assistance. Finally, we spotlight Carter, the Ottawa Senator's 7th overall pick, who is making waves at training camp with an impressive performance. With 2 goals and 5 points in just 3 preseason games, he's turning heads and raising expectations about his potential NHL debut. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these important stories. Yahoo US reports on the devastating aftermath of Tropical Storm Helene in Pensacola, North Carolina, where the only road connecting the small community has been severely damaged. Residents describe the landscape transformed, with many homes unrecognizable after the storm. Noah Davis, a local handyman, highlights the profound change, stating, "There's going to be a before the storm and after the storm." Pensacola. The flooding from Cattle Creek and the Cane River left many homes inundated, with residents like Joyce Monis recounting harrowing experiences of being surrounded by water. Rescue efforts are ongoing, with volunteers and National Guard troops working tirelessly to deliver supplies and account for those affected, amidst concerns about the whereabouts of vacation homeowners. BBC covers the escalating violence in southern Lebanon, where Israeli strikes have killed 2 Lebanese soldiers as the conflict with Hezbollah intensifies. The Israeli military continues to target Hezbollah positions, resulting in significant casualties, including over 1,300 people across Lebanon in just 2 weeks. The situation has forced more than 1 million people to flee their homes, creating a humanitarian crisis. Amidst the chaos, the World Food Program reports horrific conditions in Beirut, with many displaced individuals, including a significant number of children. The Lebanese army is caught in the crossfire, trying to maintain a semblance of order while suffering losses itself, highlighting the precarious nature of the ongoing conflict. Yahoo US highlights Carter Yakimchuk's impressive performance at the Ottawa Senators training camp, where he has exceeded expectations as a rookie defenseman. Initially expected to return to junior hockey, Yakimchuk has made a strong case for a spot on the NHL roster, recording 2 goals and 5 points in the preseason. His confidence has soared since his first game, and he aims to leave a lasting impact on the team. The Senators are in need of an impactful defenseman, and Yakimchuk's offensive skills could provide a significant boost compared to other players struggling to make a mark. With only 2 preseason games left, Yakimchuk's hard work and determination appear to be paving the way for a potential place on the team. CNN introduces Harold Daggett, a vibrant and controversial figure at the forefront of the ongoing port strike, which has seen nearly 50 members of the International Longshoremen's Association (ILA) halt operations at various East and Gulf Coast ports. This unprecedented strike, the first in 47 years, has paralyzed the flow of containerized cargo into and out of the United States. At 72 years old, Daggett commands attention with his bold rhetoric and striking presence, often adorned in gold jewelry and unfiltered language. He passionately rallies his members, asserting that the shipping companies must recognize their worth, and vows to fight for a significant pay increase amidst a backdrop of record profits in the shipping industry. However, Daggett's leadership is not without controversy. He has faced scrutiny over his salary and past allegations of misconduct, yet he remains a stalwart figure for his union, drawing both admiration and criticism. The Globe and Mail highlights the plight of Gazans and the families of Israeli hostages as they feel increasingly forgotten amidst shifting media focus towards the conflict in Lebanon and tensions with Iran. Shaban Nabudeh, a displaced English teacher, expresses his despair over the lack of attention to the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza, where thousands have been killed and displaced in the year-long conflict with Israel. Meanwhile, families of hostages taken by Hamas during the initial attacks worry that their loved ones will be overlooked as Israel redirects its military efforts towards Hezbollah. The situation is further complicated by the Israeli government's focus on defeating Hezbollah, with Prime Minister Netanyahu downplaying the urgency of addressing the hostage situation in Gaza. As ceasefire talks stall and violence continues, the emotional toll on those affected remains profound, with pleas for international intervention to ensure that hostages are not forgotten in the broader geopolitical landscape. The Sydney Morning Herald reports on the global financial markets reacting to rising tensions in the Middle East, particularly following Israel's recent airstrikes in Beirut and escalating conflicts with Iran. As Wall Street indexes dipped amidst mixed economic signals, oil prices surged significantly, driven by fears that the ongoing conflict could disrupt crude supplies from a region crucial to global energy. President Biden's ambiguous comments about supporting potential Israeli strikes on Iran's oil infrastructure have further contributed to market volatility, with analysts warning that such actions could severely impact oil supply. While geopolitical concerns loom large, the Australian share market is poised to reflect these trends, with futures suggesting a decline at the open. Amidst this backdrop, traders are closely monitoring developments that could reshape the energy landscape, as the potential for conflict intensifies and the implications for oil prices become increasingly uncertain. Al Jazeera reports on the escalating tensions following Iran's missile attack on Israel, which has prompted a series of discussions between U.S. and Israeli officials. President Joe Biden expressed skepticism about an immediate Israeli retaliation, emphasizing that the U.S. merely advises rather than dictates Israel's actions. U.S. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller reiterated that the administration does not support strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, aiming to avoid further conflict escalation. As Israel continues its military operations in Gaza and Lebanon, Iranian officials have warned of an unconventional response to any Israeli attacks, indicating a precarious balance of power in the region. The situation remains fraught, fears of a broader conflict looming as U.S. officials navigate their diplomatic stance ahead of the upcoming presidential election. Foreign Policy provides an overview of the recent developments in the Middle East, including the death of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in an Israeli airstrike and Iran's missile response. The publication highlights the complexities of the ongoing conflict, such as the historical failures of UN resolutions and the lessons learned from previous wars, as Israel intensifies its military campaign against Hezbollah. Questions arise about the effectiveness of their strategy and the potential for a lasting resolution. The analysis suggests that while Israel may seek to weaken Hezbollah significantly, the group has historically demonstrated resilience, raising doubts about whether military force alone can achieve peace. Foreign Policy also delves into the implications of North Korea's arms deliveries to Russia, which are seen as a significant threat to Ukraine's defense efforts. U.S. officials and Ukrainian military leaders emphasize that the influx of North Korean artillery shells, despite their often poor quality, has bolstered Russia's military capabilities and sustained its artillery advantage in the ongoing war. The partnership between North Korea and Russia raises concerns about mutual benefits, including potential military technology transfers that could further empower Kim Jong-un. This evolving relationship may embolden North Korea's aggressive regional posture, complicating the geopolitical landscape in Northeast Asia and heightening tensions with the West. BBC: The aftermath of Hurricane Helene has left a devastating mark on the southeastern United States, with the death toll tragically rising to 200, predominantly in North Carolina, where entire communities have been uprooted, as rescuers tirelessly search for hundreds still missing. Nearly 1 million homes remain without power, and tens of thousands lack running water, particularly in the mountainous areas of Asheville. President Joe Biden has been actively involved, touring the damage and approving federal disaster assistance for the affected states. His visit included an aerial view of Tallahassee, where the hurricane made landfall as a Category 4 storm. Residents like Nicole Rojas expressed their harrowing experiences, likening survival to an apocalypse. Meanwhile, logistical challenges persist, with hundreds of roads closed, complicating aid delivery. The National Guard and active duty soldiers have been deployed to support recovery efforts, but concerns loom over the potential for more storms this season, which could further strain FEMA's resources. As the Atlantic hurricane season continues, the region braces for more rainfall, adding to the urgency of recovery operations. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6DO Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website. 6.brief are location.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6DO Brief via email.